Joining us now for some analysis is CNN political commentator and anchor for Spectrum News, Errol Louis. Errol, it is great to see you. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I do want to start with the Kash Patel news that Elena was talking about there. You know, even if this was the name that was widely expected, I do think we should take a beat to underscore just how unusual this is. You know, the current FBI Director, Christopher Wray, still has 3 years left in his 10-year term. So Trump is basically telling Wray to resign or else you're fired. And Errol, separately, I do think this has to be pretty jarring for many of the folks who currently work at the FBI, given Patel's views about the agency.
Good morning, MJ. That's exactly right. We have a system in which you require not just Senate confirmation, but the FBI director serves a 10-year term. That's for a reason, so that it really goes beyond any one presidential term and really beyond any one president, since it goes for more than 8 years. And so the idea is that it's supposed to be independent. We now have a president-elect who's determined to undermine that. He has made no secret that he wants an FBI director that's loyal to him personally, who will carry out personal vendettas on behalf of a president, which is a power that the FBI has scrupulously tried to avoid in the post-Watergate generation. So that's what we're in for. This is what Donald Trump promised. This is him delivering on one of those promises. It will be up to the Senate, of course, to decide whether or not they're going to go along with that.
Yeah, this is going to be a fascinating space to watch. The other headline coming out of Trump transition HQ in Mar-a-Lago was Trump choosing Charles Kushner as his ambassador to France, one of the most coveted positions as far as ambassadorships go, and definitely not the first time that Trump has had the back of his son-in-law's father. Talk to us about this decision.
Well, yeah, I had to go back over my notes and look at this to make sure that I didn't imagine something out of Hollywood. Charles Kushner was a real estate developer who hired a prostitute and framed up his brother and had the whole thing filmed so that he could sort of blackmail the brother, his brother-in-law. And this is what happened. He was convicted of witness tampering. He served time in federal prison, and he was pardoned by Donald Trump, who now I believe is, basically trolling the political and diplomatic establishment by giving this highly coveted position, this assignment, to Charles Kushner. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I can imagine the kind of fun that the French press and the French leadership will have with this. This is not somebody who's going to walk into an easy situation. But that's the kind of mood, I think, that Donald Trump is in as president-elect. He's settling a lot of old scores, in this case against Chris Christie, who at the time was the U.S. attorney who prosecuted Charles Kushner. And Chris Christie, of course, was summarily expelled from Trump circles and indeed ended up running against him and working against him politically. I'm sure he would have loved to have been considered for the job. But instead, the person he sent to federal prison is going to apparently be on his way to Paris.
Yeah, I think settling scores is exactly right. Meanwhile, Congress is coming back this week, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, as you know, has said that he wants to get things done as quickly as possible. And he is going to have a really narrow majority to navigate. But I do think clearly, this time around, Washington is going to be very different than the Washington of 2017 when Trump first took office. How are you expecting Republicans to exercise their power this time around?
They're going to have to really be a lot more disciplined than what we saw in the last Congress, meaning they're going to all have to pull together. They have no room for error, none whatsoever. If things end up in a tie, by the way, a measure will fail. So he actually needs a couple of votes beyond the majority that they barely have squeezed out. And, that means nobody can be sick. People have to make it to Congress on any given day. They have to all vote together. There's no room for defections. Mike Johnson's going to have his hands full, including with his own vote to maintain the speakership.
And just really quickly, Errol, one person who is going to be on the Hill this week is Pam Bondi, Trump's new pick, of course, to be his AG. Do you think this confirmation process is going to be basically smooth sailing, no serious red flags or anything?
She has a much better chance of being confirmed than Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz was utterly unqualified. Senators let the president-elect's team know that he never would have gotten the votes and never should have been nominated. Pam Bondi is a different kettle of fish. She's very loyal to Donald Trump, but she has actually been a practicing attorney. She has actually served in government in positions of responsibility, and so for that reason alone, I think she ends up maybe getting through the nomination process.
All right, Errol Louis, thank you so much.
Almost 2 million people are under lake effect snow alerts through tomorrow. And of course, that could mean dangerous driving conditions for a lot of people heading home after Thanksgiving. Look at this. This is northern New York. Entire communities are digging out